Hey guys, start a little cutting project on my transmission crossmember for the S10 Blazer. Needed to make some room so that my dual exhaust could come down. I guess it's going to be closer to 1.5 inches when I lower the engine mounts to the actual crossmember in the vehicle. I already made the first cut to section out the bottom parts of this tube. Something that was a little bit concerning was as I finished my first cut at the very bottom, the gap kind of opened. So in my mind I'm like, how could this crossmember have tension on that big, thick walled tubing or pipe that the ends are welded to for the crossmember? So it's a little bit concerning, but I'm gonna probably have to change blades because I'm just using a Sawzall because it seemed like the cleanest way to cut through this material. And with the first blade it didn't really take that long, but I think that blade's a little bit old, so hang in there. I'm gonna try to do a little bit more cutting and we'll see what we end up with. Alright, got cut number 2 done. Had a lot more success when I switched to a different blade, but you can see how much and how thick that is. I just section that off so that exhaust can come straight down from the bottom. I wanted to leave all my weld on both sides for integrity. Then I'll hit all these edges and points with a grinder here in a minute, and you can make it safe enough to work with so I don't cut myself. So let's start cutting on the other side, because we still got tube number 2 that we got to section out. Whew, it ain't the fastest process, but it is working. Alright guys, you got to work through challenges and you got to figure out what to do when things don't go right. Basically, it absolutely wears the crap out of your Sawzall blades cutting material as thick as this. We're talking 1/4 inch thick steel piping that we use to make this crossmember. But I got this side completely sectioned out. Got the first cut on this side almost completely cut through, and the trigger on the Sawzall quit working. I was like, wow, that's cool. I mean, this thing was out on loan for the better part of 5 years or more. So during that process, something had been pulled or something weird was going on with the wiring into the handle, where every once in a while you had to jiggle the cable to get the trigger to work. Well, yesterday it went out completely. Nothing you could do to this would make the trigger work. So I had to pull it apart last night, figure out what was going on. I couldn't visually find anything torn, broken, cracked, So I just basically redid every wire connection I could find inside the handle. And so far, it's working fine. I got one little extra piece that it was fighting me putting the handle back on, so it doesn't get to be part of the program anymore because I didn't have the patience to mess with it. So I'm gonna run and try to get a new Sawzall blade, because I wore out all my leftover blades from previous projects, and the one I have in there now is like one of those, it's kind of like got diamond powder crap on the end of it, and it don't cut the steel worth anything. So I'm gonna run to the probably Lowe's or Home Depot, probably try to get one of them. I think it might be called Red Devil, or I don't know, it's those red Sawzall blades. They always do me right and seem to cut a little bit better. So hopefully I'll be able to get this other part sectioned out. then I'll start grinding it and smoothing it so it doesn't cut me every time I try to get under there and work near it. So I guess it's all part of doing hot rods. Every time you start doing something, you have to run a chance of something breaking. Alright, so this is what I end up picking up. End up going to Menards instead of Home Depot or Lowe's, which I was kind of irritated because I wanted one of those Diablo blades, but I was closer to Menards, so I went ahead and picked one of these up for like $8, $7.87 or something weird like that. So hopefully, because this says it's for heavy metal, like thick metal cutting. It shows pictures of different thicknesses of metal and galvanized pipe, and I don't know. The teeth on it look a little aggressive. I'm hoping it doesn't try to yank the stupid sawzall out of my hand. So let's get her chucked up and see if she'll cut. Well, so much for the Bosch Cobalt, or whatever it was. It's supposed to have special treated teeth for cutting thick metal. The points on the teeth are now gone, and all I managed to get cut was I finished the last ½ inch of this cut and made it this far on the final cut. So the $8 bit has now surmised she's dead. Let's keep working, try to find a different way. Perseverance paid off. I was able to finish the cut on that last piece using a fine tooth bimetal blade, which takes way longer, but got the job done. So that's what counts. And now I can get her ground up and cleaned up so there's not so many sharp edges on it. I was really disappointed in that special blade I bought, because I mean it cut like a banshee. When I first started using it, I felt like an idiot for not having it from the very beginning, because it was throwing chips and I mean cutting through this metal like it was nothing. But once those teeth started to erode or go bad, once it went bad, it was all done. I don't even think you could cut wood with that thing. So anyway, there's where I'm at. Got that thing sectioned out so the exhaust will clear. Let me get out of the wind a little bit. Just realized I'm winding you guys to death. But I got everything sectioned out on the Crossmember so that I can drop that engine down, which in turn drops the exhaust down, and I won't have to redo my exhaust at this time to get it back on the road. So got a little off track there, I apologize. But I really wanted to switch the way the Crossmember mounts in the vehicle over to kind of like the Ford Mustang style. It has like a big bush, or not, I think it'd be just considered a bushing. It's like two brackets on each side of on the inside of the frame rails, and then you just have a bushing with a big bolt on each side. I'd much rather have that set up than the current, 2 bolts on each side going through the frame. But I don't know for sure if I'm going to have the metal available and the welder to make that happen. So as always, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope this wasn't too awfully boring. Hopefully I'll be able to edit it all together and make it look halfway decent. Like, subscribe, hit the little bell. If you guys have any questions, as always, hit up that comments and I'll try to help you guys out. Thank you.